All right, here we go. We are on quarter 3, week 7, day 1. We have a subtraction problem and we have an addition problem. All right, so we do see that there are decimals, which means we're going to have to line them up. So let's go ahead and do the subtraction problem. We have 8,327.8. We're going to subtract that from 12.034. All right, that takes us right to the edge of the screen there. All right, which means we're going to have to add some zeros here. All right, can we take 4 away from 0? No, so we're going to have to borrow from this 0, which we can't. So we're going to have to borrow from the 8, which makes that a 7. That made this 0 a 10, but we're borrowing from it, making it a 9. And then this is actually a 10. So 10 minus 4 is 6. 9 minus 3 is 6. 7 minus 0 is 7. Then we bring down to decimal. 7 minus 2 is 5. 2 minus 1 is 1. 3 and 8. So, to solve that subtraction problem, we have the answer 8,315.766. Okay, so now we're going to solve for the addition problem. But once again, we have to line up the decimals, which we did. Okay, you can see right there, they're all lined up. We can put a 0 here. We don't really have to since we're adding. But in this situation, let's just do it to make it look nice and clean. We have 0 plus 9 is 9. 8 plus 1 is 9. 2 plus 0 is 2. Bring down the decimal. 4 plus 3 is 7. 7 plus 2 is 9. And 9 plus nothing is 9. So the answer to that one is 997.299. There we go. We solved both of them. Okay, now we need to fill in the blank. We have 7.5 kilometers is how many meters? Okay, well, right down here, I think most of you guys already know this, but 1 kilometer is the same as 1,000 meters. So if you want to get from 1 kilometer to 7.5 kilometers, what would you do? Well, you know that you would multiply by 7.5. Okay, so what would you do with the 1,000 times 7.5? Okay, and if you did that, you basically know that you're going to move the decimal over 3 places. Boom, 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 which makes it 7,500 meters. All right, so there you go. 7.5 kilometers is 7,500 meters. What is the value of 9, and then parentheses, 4x minus 4 when x equals 5? Okay, so we're just going to place 5 in for x. So we're just going to rewrite it. So it's 9 times 4 times 5 minus 4. All right, well, let's do the order of operations. The first thing we're doing is parentheses. All right, so there's the 4 times 5 minus 4 inside the parentheses. Well, the first thing you're going to do is the multiplication, right? 4 times 5, which is 20. So it's going to be 9 times 20 minus 4. All right, so the next thing you're going to do is 20 minus 4, and that is 16. So you're going to have 9 times 16. And then all we have to do then is do 16 times 9, which is 144. All right, that's all there is to that. When you put 5 in for x, then you solve it. Your answer is 144. List 3 values that would make this inequality true. All right, remember we have something on this side of the inequality, something on this side. Whether this is an inequality sign, like a greater than, less than, or equal to sign, or if it's just an equal sign, it doesn't matter. We're going to solve for n the same way. Okay, so we're going to have 2n is greater than or equal to 12. All right, so what we're going to do is we need to get n by itself, right? We got to get rid of this 2 somehow. Well, you're going to do the opposite operation of what's happening. So we have 2n right next to each other. That's multiplication. The opposite of multiplication is division. We're going to divide both sides by 2. 2 goes into 2 one time, so we just have 1n. n is greater than or equal to 12 divided by 2 is 6. Okay, so if n is greater than 6 or equal to 6, can it be exactly 6? Yes, it can. So 6 could be one of your possible answers. And then any other number that is greater than 6. Well, what numbers are greater than 6? Well, 7, 8, 9, 100, a million. So basically any number, I don't know, I'm just going to randomly pick 2 numbers. All right, so we have 6, 17, and 91. But it can be any number that is 6 or larger than 6. And we know that because when we solve for n, n is greater than or equal to 6. All right, it says find the rules, solve for n. We have the input-output table. Again, we have whatever x is, something is happening to it, and the result is whatever y is. So something's happening to 5 and make it 20. Something is happening to 6 to make it 24. So I think I see what the rule is. I think 5 times 4 will give me 20. And as long as that works for everything else, that's our rule. 6 times 4 is 24. 8 times 4 is 32. And so obviously to find n, we're going to have to do 7 times 4. But first, let's find the rule. The rule is y is going to be equal to 4 times whatever x is. So it's going to be 4x. So whatever x is times 4, that's what y is going to be. And to solve that, n is going to equal, well, n times 4 is, or 7 times 4 is 28. So there's our 2 answers. The rule is y is equal to 4x, or x times 4, however you want to write that, and n is equal to 28. All right, now we are going to find the volume. Remember, volume equals length times width times height. Okay, so we have the length here, the width here, the height. It is either there or there. All right, so we have to multiply them. But they are mixed numbers, so let's change them into improper fractions. Remember to do that, you do 10 times 3, which is 30 plus 1, so it's 31 over 3. 4 just becomes 4 over 1. And then 8, excuse me, you do 8 times 5, which is 40. 8 times 5 is 40, plus 4 more is 44. So you have 44 over 5. All right, so now we can just multiply across if we want to. So let's do that. Over the top is 31 times 4, and that gives us 124. And that's times 44, which equals 5,456. It's a big number. So then we do this. 3 times 1 times 5. 3 times 1 is 3. 3 times 5 is 15. All right, so now we need to find out how many times does 15 go into 5,456. 5,456 divided by 15 equals 363. So it's going to go into it 363 times, but there is some left over, all right? So if we take 363 times 15, that gives us 5,445. So what's the difference between 5,445 and 5,456? Well, let's subtract it. 6 minus 5 is 1, 5 minus 4 is 1, and the rest is zeros. So the difference is 11. So there's 11 left over out of 15. All right, so that's a pretty big answer for volume, and it's going to be in inches cubed, right? Oops, not inches, but inches cubed. So 363 and 11/15 inches cubed, okay, should be the volume of this one. All right, so this is asking what statistical question. And remember, if a question is statistical, it has to have variance. Okay? If you ask 100 people a question that has the same answer, then it's not statistical. If you ask 1,000 people who was the first president of the United States, 1,000 people are going to say George Washington. Or if they know, actually they should. So that would not be statistical. Okay, but if you asked 1,000 people who was your favorite president, okay, then you're going to have a lot of different answers. So then you can actually do some data on that. So with this one here, we're talking about something that here's dolls, blocks, army man, and animal. Some type of animal. Okay, so these are the cost of the toys. So what if you asked, how much is a doll? Well, a doll is $10. So if you ask a bunch of people, okay, they go to the store, they look at this store, they look at the doll, it costs $10. So is that a lot of different answers, or is that just one answer? It's just one answer. So that would not be a statistical question if that's what I asked, right? So maybe, okay, maybe if I asked, what is the cost of your favorite toy out of the 4 given here, would that be the same answer? No, because some people would choose the doll, some would choose the blocks, some would choose the army man, and some would choose the animal. Okay, so if I asked that question, then that could be a statistical question. So try to think of a statistical question that this graph or this data would answer. So all it has to be is a question that will have a variety of answers. So again, the one I thought of was, what is the price of your favorite item out of the 4 given here? The doll, the blocks, the army man, and the animal. Okay, find the median and mean of the data, which reflects the best measure of center, which means which one is reflecting the majority of the numbers. Okay, so that's what you want to find out. And then we have mean, which is the average of all of them, which means you add them all up and divide by however many there are there in this. So there's 2 8s, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 9s, 2 10s, and 1 40. You add all of those together and then divide by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, because there are 10 numbers in this data set. That's how you find the mean. The median is the number in the middle. So we're going to line up these numbers, 8, 9, 10, and 40, and we're going to find the number that's directly in the middle. And the mode, which they're not asking for, would be the one that happens most often. So if you look at this data, which one would be the mode? Well, it would be the 9, because there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 9s in this data set where there's only 2 8s, there's only 2 10s, and there's only 1 40. And in the range, if we were to find that, that would be the distance from the highest to the lowest number. Well, the highest number in the data set is 40, and the lowest is 8. So you would just do 40 minus 8. So 40 minus 8 would give us a range of 32. So all they're asking for, though, is the median and the mean. So let's find that and see which one is the best measure of center. Okay, so now we're going to find the median. Okay, so the median is the number in the middle. So what we're going to do is I have all of these listed out. I have the 2 8s listed out. I have the 5 9s, the 2 10s, and the 40. So we're just going to go back and forth until we find the number in the middle. So we keep going back and forth and back and forth. Uh-oh, we have a situation. We have 2 numbers in the middle. Well, when you have that, all you have to do is find the average of these 2 numbers. Okay, so if you do 9 plus 9 divided by 2, you're going to get 9, right? So the median is 9. If there's just one number in the middle, it makes life really easy. It's just that number. Okay, so now to find the mean, we have to add up all the numbers in the data set. That gives us 121. There are 10 numbers in the data set, so we do 121 divided by 10, and that gives us 12.1. So that's our answer. The mean is 12.1.